In 2007, the European Union heads of state and government adopted a new energy and climate policy. The effects of the policy are that by 2020, renewable energy will cover 20% of the energy consumed in the Union. The member states have jointly agreed to reduce CO2 emissions by 20% compared to 1990. Our Earth is suffering, and that's a challenge for all of us, not only for the global community and the European Union in particular, but also for you and me. Ulrik Jensen is more aware of this than most of us. He's CEO at SCF Technologies in Denmark. The company makes oil out of waste and residue. Every morning, Ulrik Jensen takes the train from the island of Funen to Høje Taastrup, south of the Danish capital Copenhagen. Going by train uses less energy than cars, since the trains and buses of the public transport system transport many people at a time. In cars, people often drive alone, on average 1.2 people, so trains are much more climate-friendly. Søren Eriksen is CEO of the Danish Railways DSB. Just like Ulrik Jensen, he uses the train for quite a distance every day on his way to Copenhagen. Transport which is better for the environment than cars, and which has possibilities that don't exist in a car. Working with a laptop is easy, and to make the train even more attractive for commuters, the Danish Railways have made the effort to create an accommodating environment so that passengers can use their space as a working area. In Høje Taastrup, Ulrik Jensen takes his small car for the last stretch from the railway station to his job. Today, he's using a conventional petrol-driven car. In a few years, that will change. Anders Kvitzau, an innovative executive at IBM, would prefer Ulrik Jensen to substitute his conventional car with a climate-friendly electric vehicle. With an intelligent charging computer, a smart grid, and electrical power based on wind turbines rather than coal power with high CO2 emissions.
But we will not actually start charging your car right now, because at this point of time, this is where most people are using power. So this is what we call the cooking point. So this car, or this plug, is really what we call an intelligent plug, and this is part of what we call the smart grid. Now the problem is that when everybody are using coal-based power, because everybody are using power at the same time, then this will hurt we'll have high CO2 emissions. And this is one of the reasons why we work with what we call the smarter planet, and why we are working with what we call the smarter grid. So the smarter grid will be able to manage for you and with you how you use your power. So in this case here, this car will know, and the power plant will know, that you are not going to use your car right now, and it can wait charging your car until the night.
The EU wants us all to do something. Starting at the office, lighting is one place to start. The familiar incandescent light bulbs are now almost history in the EU. One of the reasons is that we can avoid large amounts of CO2 emissions by choosing energy-efficient light bulbs.
Approximately 20% of all electrical power is used for lighting. In offices like this here, it's even more. It's 50 to 60% of the electricity that is used for lighting. At home, most of us have already made great savings by going from the old incandescent lamp to the new modern energy-efficient, energy-saving lamp. That's great. Through that, you saved 80% energy. That's fine. When we come to the office, most of us think it's already good because we use fluorescent lamps. We use the old T8 lamp. It's a great product. It's energy efficient. It gives good light, but it can be done even better. And imagine that in your office, you actually have the light on 3,000 hours per year. That's a lot also. If you replace the T8 lamp with new modern T5 lamps, you have the option of saving 15% of the energy. If you further combine it with presence detectors, daylight regulation, you save another high percentage.
Denmark is well known worldwide for developing and producing more efficient wind turbines. A massive success throughout the decades, what SCF Technologies is developing might be a new, very important Danish step in developing an intelligent way to face different challenges, such as reducing waste in an intelligent way.
Since the late 90s, we've been developing the catalytic process, which is able to convert waste and residues into oil. The catalytic oil is in many ways like fossil oil. Per liter, it contains approximately the same energy. It can be stored, it can be blended, and in many applications it may serve as a substitute for fossil oil. And the environmental impact is significant, with CO2 reductions of 70 to 80%.
But what about energy consumption in Ulrik Jensen's own private home? Ulrik Jensen is doing laundry in the conventional way.
Hi Ulrik.
Hi.
Tell me, what temperature are you washing your shirts at?
I put it on 40.
Okay. Tell me, why are you washing them at 40 when you can just as well get your clothes cleaned at 30 degrees today?
Because my mom told me so.
And you always do what she says?
Most of the time.
Okay, but actually today, with modern detergents, you can get your clothes clean also at 30 degrees, so you don't need to wash at 40. And if you turn to 30, you'll save energy.
And how come?
It's because of the modern technology that's in detergents. They contain enzymes, and enzymes makes you able to get the stains and the dirt of your clothes at much lower temperatures. It's a milder way to wash your clothes, and it's milder for the environment.
And does it really make a difference then? Or?
For the environment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually does. So when you turn the temperature down, you use less energy. And if we add that up, and we all in Europe did the same thing, turned from 60 to 40 and from 40 to 30, just one little dial on the knot, then it would add up to 12 million tons of CO2. And that's equivalent to 3 million cars that you could take off the roads by doing this really easy little thing.
That's a lot.
That's
so
a lot,
I think I'll turn it down to 30 and also tell my mom.
That's great.
All right.
But as soon as we turn to politics, there are differing opinions as to how we should tackle the challenges of global warming. The deputy chairman of the Danish People's Party and member of the Copenhagen Local Council, Carl Christian Ebbesen, believes that dikes as we know them are the solution to rising water levels.
Politicians want to spend billions of euros on high-tech solutions to bring down the CO2 emission. I believe you should spend much more money on low-tech solutions. We have built dikes just outside to keep the water out. I believe that losing these low-tech solutions to prevent a flood will give much better results.
Dan Jørgensen, who's an MEP, and a former MEP, Christian Rosing, think there's great potential for industry in developing new technologies and making more climate-friendly products to reduce CO2 emissions. They're both satisfied that the EU has taken the leadership.
The decision of 2020 means that industry and our people need to concentrate on closing the gap we have today in order to save energy, save pollution, have a green environment, and create employment and opportunities and create currency to our country.
The EU has taken the leadership here, that's for sure. And I think really what's the revolution is that we've acknowledged that this is something that we have to do because of the climate, but it's also something that we can do that would actually make our industry more competitive. This is not something that will put pressure on industry. This is not something that would increase the expenses. On the contrary, they will save money, they will become more innovative, and they will become more competitive as a result of that. So I think that if the European example can be followed in other countries, developing countries like China and India, and of course especially the United States of America, if industry in those countries will adapt the same measures as we are forcing industry in Europe to do, then we might save the world.
That's right, and it also requires engagement of the people.
Sure.
Everybody has to think of the future. How can I participate in creating a better future? And all that is now up, and that is what
the citizens, the industry, the politicians, it all needs to work together in order for us to solve these problems.
Yes.